Yes, people, welcome back to DR Sports, a little cheeky transfer update for you this morning. Before we go live at 5 with our usual transfer news show, big up your goddamn self, smash that like button as well whilst you're at it. This one, I mean, I struggle to understand it, but we'll get through it anyway. Manchester United are monitoring the situation of Nico Jackson. According to the Times, the striker is described as weighing up his future. I would be if I was him. Following the arrivals at Chelsea this summer of Liam Delap and the excellent João Pedro, who scores 3 goals in 3 games for Chelsea so far. United are, of course, in the market for a new striker. Højlund, just doesn't cut the mustard, following their abysmal goal-scoring form last season. According to the Times, Chelsea are not actively looking to sell Jackson, but Jackson is not regarded as untouchable, so there is a feeling that a sizable offer might persuade them to sell him, with United among a number of interested clubs. I mean, Nico Jackson has almost become a bit of a laughing stock, and I'll stick up for him a little bit. Actually, I can't really, because the numbers can't really back it up. I mean, listen, Nico Jackson, before he moved to Chelsea, there was definitely some hype around him at Villarreal, scored a few goals. Of course, it was in a different league. Hasn't really translated over to the Prem. Did get himself sent off as well in the Club World Cup, and then obviously he's looking over his shoulder. Liam Delap and João Pedro roll in. And I would say, and Chelsea fans, let me know if I'm right or wrong on this, he's third in a third-horse race now to be the leading striker for Chelsea because of the Liam Delap and João Pedro. So, Manchester United fans, how do you feel about that one? I've seen some reaction online. A lot of them not happy, if I'm honest. And like I said earlier on in the window, there is a big want at the minute for a top number 9 for the top clubs in Europe. Are United even one of the top clubs in Europe anymore? But you've obviously seen Gyökeres end up at Arsenal. Where does Ekitike end up? Does Isak stay at Newcastle or go to Liverpool? Sesko still out there available. Even Vlahovic you could probably get on a free. And if I was a United fan, which, Jesus, I'm so glad I'm not, then I wouldn't be overly enthused by this link of Nico Jackson to United. But according to the Times, it's the truth, and I think there's a fine line between obviously putting a bid in and monitoring the situation. This is what we heard the other day when it came to Christopher Nkunku and Liverpool. They were monitoring the situation. What does it mean? Not that much, to be honest. But if that one goes through, Chelsea have hit the jackpot. And how much is Nico Jackson worth? And would he start for Manchester United if he did come through? This one is right at the start of the the timeline. Monitoring the situation is probably this end. Signing the contract and passing the medical is this end. There's a lot of work in between, but I can't see that one happening. They've got to go bigger and better, with all due respect to Nico Jackson. Staying on Manchester United, they are looking at the left-back, Pervis Estupinan, from Brighton. According to TalkSport, it's claimed that Manchester United have held talks with the player's camp, although they face competition from Italian giants AC Milan. Brighton are reportedly likely to be open to offers for the Ecuadorian international. They have just signed that Maxim de Kuiper from Club Brugge as well for 17.3 million. And they're doing this thing again. They shed their skin, don't they? Metaphorically, every season. They bring in a really talented left-back in Estupinan. Has a really good season by all accounts. And then they find the next one. Just like they have with their midfielders and the strikers as well. On Brighton, it does look like, what's his name? Evan Ferguson is off to Roma as well. So lots of chops and changes at Brighton for the Seagulls. But Estupinan, very good player. So if United can go in for him, knowing that they're looking to obviously offload Malacia to anyone who fancies him, this could be a good signing, actually. Premier League proven, but how much would Brighton actually want for the left-back after they've kind of said to him, look, we've brought in De Kuiper from Club Brugge, you're going to have to fight for your place, but if we do get a sizable offer, if we do have some interest, of course, we'll have a look. Certainly have a look, won't they? So, Manchester United fans again, Estupinan, would that be a good signing? And Brighton fans, is this a player you'd like to keep hold of? Obviously, Brighton need that depth to try this season and get in those European spots. They had a great start to the campaign last season, but Hertzler seems to know what he's doing. But they are quite ruthless as well, Brighton, and they will sell if the price is right. So, Estupinan to Manchester United, let me know on that one. Let's go over to Liverpool. According to Sky Sports, Liverpool, as we know, are expected to rival Newcastle United for the Eintracht Frankfurt striker Hugo Ekitike, who's 23, after being told that Isak is not for sale in this window. The Magpies feel the leaking of Liverpool's 120 million interest into the public domain is designed to unsettle Isak. As well as Ekitike, Liverpool have made inquiries about 4 other attackers: Ollie Watkins, Osherman, Wissa and Rodrigo. Right, they're having a look, they're spreading the net far and wide. I mean, look, as a Liverpool fan, I'd still want Alex Isak. The number 2 choice would, of course, be Ekitike. Wissa's a very good player, more of a wide player. Ollie Watkins at 29, I can't really see Liverpool getting that one over the line, although he probably would score a bucket of goals for Liverpool. But, yeah, Newcastle obviously feel like Liverpool are trying to lickle-bro them a little bit, unsettle them, get in Isak's head, almost show that interest in him so he does run to the club and say, look, the interest is there, can I go, can I at least speak to them? Which is pretty much what Real Madrid and Barcelona do to everyone else. So Liverpool are trying to do it to Newcastle now. I still think that Isak ends up at Newcastle and Liverpool get Ekitike. I still think that. Unless something drastic happens, and that drastic thing happening would have to be from Isak and his team. They would have to now go to Newcastle and say either one or two things. I'm committed, I want to stay, I want to sign a new contract. Or they almost bow down to that pressure that Liverpool are putting onto Newcastle. And he hasn't ruled it out yet. That's the important thing. This morning we saw a video from Fabrizio Romano, who did confirm that Isak hasn't ruled this out, right? He's not saying an absolute no to it. So as time wears on, and the next few days are crucial in this, we could see either him commit long-term to Newcastle or have his head turned and maybe start talking to Liverpool. But those other names that I mentioned, Watkins isn't going to come. Osherman should be looked at 26, still got so much to offer. Just how does that relate from the Turkish league, from the Italian league into the Prem? But the quality's there, there's no doubt about it. One of my friends is a Fenerbahce fan, and he said he couldn't wait for Osherman to leave the Turkish league because it was just too easy for him. So I do think that's a valid name to be involved in the shouts. And Rodrigo, I mean, we have to see what happens with Luis Diaz first. And again, the news is this morning that he has made it clear that he wants to leave the club, which I don't understand. I don't understand it. If you want to leave, that's fine. Like, obviously we get the money in and we move on. But my question is, why would you want to leave Liverpool at the minute if you're Luis Diaz? He was the best player for Liverpool in that kind of final third of the season when we needed his goals to get us over the line to win the title. There's rumours that he's on either 55k a week or 140k a week. If it is 55 and Liverpool don't want to cough up, then yeah, sure enough, you know, go and get your money. But if he's on 140 and he wants that new deal, which Liverpool don't really seem keen to offer him, then it becomes a bit of a messy situation. He is so loved and adored by the Liverpool fans, and it would be such a shame if he did go out like this. But apparently he's made it clear he wants to leave. So Liverpool are saying, well, we're not going to sell you for 56 mil. We want 75, 80 for you. So let's see how that pans out first before we start talking about the Rodrigos of the world. Arsenal have reached an agreement in principle with Ethan Nwaneri over a new deal. The progress in the talks reported last week were true. Nwaneri and his camp have now agreed to sign our new contract at the club. It was always his priority to go with Arsenal instead of, or despite the interest from several other clubs. I think they were circling. Chelsea had a little look, didn't they? But Nwaneri, the key thing that he must ensure now, yes, he's got his new squad number, which is definitely a good sign for him in terms of getting more minutes, playing more. But he's got to almost be guaranteed by Mikel Arteta that he's going to get minutes, because I can see if there's one more season where he doesn't break into that team, then, you know, it could be an issue for him. They say it's more of a central role for him next season instead of out wide. So what does that mean for Arsenal? What does that mean for maybe an Odegaard, for maybe an Eze if he wants to come in and play centrally as well? You know, Madueke is obviously a wide player on either side. So Ethan Nwaneri, he has to get more minutes this season. Otherwise, if he doesn't, they could be looking to cash in next season on him. But such a talent, genuinely one of the the best young talents in Europe actually at the minute, and he's actually been playing for Arsenal for 2 or 3 years now, which is mind-blowing. He's what, 18, 17? So big him up, man. That's great news for Arsenal that he signs the new deal. He just needs minutes, and I think this will be, and I hope for his sake, this will be his breakout season. I know he's already had his breakout season, but I'm saying get yourself 10 goals, really put your name on the map, because he's coming through very nicely. But last season, I think Arsenal fans were frustrated that he didn't get enough minutes. So he signs the new deal. Someone that probably won't be signing a new deal is Darwin Núñez. Napoli have chosen to sign Lorenzo Luca instead of Darwin Núñez, according to Sky in Italy. Napoli have agreed the deal with Udinese to sign the young striker on loan with an obligation to buy. He is viewed as the perfect option for the long-term replacement, or even to complement Romelu Lukaku in Napoli's strike force, who also have, Scott McTominay, Billy Gilmour, Kevin De Bruyne. That midfield is stacked, and they've added to the strikers there as well. Right, we'll be back at 5 o'clock. This was just your bite-sized kind of morning update in the transfer world, but we'll be back at 5 o'clock live, and we'll really deep dive into some of these stories today. Looking forward to that show. So please, on the way out, let me know what you thought to all of the stuff that I mentioned here, including Nico Jackson to Manchester United. Could that happen? And of course, everything else that we mentioned here. So smash that like button, get your comments in, and we'll see you live at 5. Take care.